Hi everyone, it's Yvette Blowitz from SPAITGIRL.com and welcome to the Spirit Girl Talk Show podcast. I'm super excited to be here with you in this online audio space and with our very special guest, and her name is Lucky and she is the founder from Body Balm Co. Lucky, thank you so much for meeting me here and the rest of the Spirit Girl podcast audience globally. First of all, want to ask you, how are you today?
Really well. After our technical difficulties, going well, yes.
We've discovered that, here's a tip, Zoom isn't really working. Even in Australia, it keeps freezing at the other end. So big shout out now to StreamYard and Sid, who I recently interviewed on my podcast show, that said this would actually work. So it is working. So thank you, Sid. So back to you, Lucky. For those of you who don't know who you are and what Body Balm Co is, can you give them a little bit of a rundown?
Sure. So my name's Lucky, and if those who are wondering if it's my real name, I call myself Lucky. Everyone I know who knows me call me Lucky. My real legal name, on the other hand, it's Belinda. For those who might go, who is Lucky? Formerly known as Belinda. And I am the founder and maker of Body Balm Co, which is an all-natural body, face, holistic wellness range of products that help to make you feel you again.
Love this. Make you feel you again. So what inspired you to start Body Balm and Co?
I have to admit, it all started in the shower. I am a mum she's now 1.5 years old, just turned 1.5 years old. And this all started a couple months ago in June. So when our first lockdown in Melbourne happened, I was in the shower and I literally ran out of body scrub. And I was like, holy shamoly, this is the only time that I have for me, that I spend that moment feeling like though I'm connected to myself again. And I ran out of this natural body scrub. I was like, I'm going to make myself some. Just make myself some my own. I wasn't thinking about doing a business or anything like that. And then I had a chat over Zoom with one of my work colleagues who, I'm going to name her. Her name's Sheridan. And she's from the Wildflower Gatherer. And she completely inspired me. She literally, or verbally, told me to, no, you're doing it. You're going to go and you're going to make what you feel like though you should do, which is a body scrub with essential oils, which is my love. And it all started from there. She changed the way how I worded things and said, you're doing it. You're going to do it. You are doing it. And that's how Body Balm Co started.
Oh, wow, that is so amazing. So it literally started when you're in the shower, in the bath.
Yep.
And then just running out of your own, like a scrub.
That's
and
correct.
You're a busy mum, so that must be your only like quiet time. Because I talk to so many mums and they're like, that's the only self-care moment they get in the day or night. Mm-hmm. Wow. And big shout out to your friend who was so just go do it, just make it happen, do it.
She's one of those people that you would listen to her intently, listen to every word that she says, and she's like, no, Lucky, you're doing it. It's not you will do it, you are doing it. And it started from there. I was like, yep, I'm doing it. Okay, cool. Just like that.
That is amazing. So you handcraft the body scrubs, and they're to just really, like you said, connect you back to yourself. So have you found, like, during COVID-19 and lockdown, now there were so many reports to say that Melbourne has had the most extreme lockdowns in the world, the longest. So have you really found just like nurturing yourself with the scrub now that you've made and just like smelling into the aromas and just feeling that really just helps you feel more grounded, more, more settled, more calm?
So the intention of this whole body scrub that started with a body scrub was the
Yeah.
essential oils that was in it. So when I get into the shower and I open up my scrub and I use it on myself, I do it as a ritual where I inhale the essential oils, inhale those aromas, and it just makes me feel more connected to myself, to nature. Even though I'm in my own shower, I feel so connected with the universe that I go, everything is going to be okay.
I love that. Everything is going to be okay.
That's just knowing that makes you feel so much more at ease and going, you can't control everything out there, but what you can control is how you feel. And that's what my range is about, making you feel. And it's okay to feel completely overwhelmed. It's completely okay to feel like as though you haven't got control over anything. And it's okay. It's all right to feel that way. We're all human. And sometimes you just need a little reminder to go, it's okay to feel vulnerable. You are human. You're a bag of emotions. So it's
I love that. You're a bag of emotions. So
you really are.
Yeah, and you're incredible to be able to pull this off during lockdown, but also you have a small child. And I've just been reading a book actually by Felicity. Oh, I should grab it. Felicity. Oh, let's grab it. I'll grab it. By Felicity Harley. Oops, there it is. Called Balance and Other BS. But she talks about motherhood, being a mum, like feeling overwhelmed, just being a mum with everything you need to do for your child, with your work, your brand, your business, life. And it's just hectic. And throw on top of that now COVID-19. So what have you been doing? Yeah. What have you been doing? So in lockdown, have you been doing other things as well for your own health and wellness? Like, what have been some other self-care rituals apart from your scrubs and spending time there, reconnecting with yourself?
For me, to keep my sanity in sake, it's more of spending time with your loved ones. Actually putting the phone down, not listening to the news, disconnecting yourself from things that may make you feel overwhelmed, and actually spending time with your own family. For myself, it's my husband and my little one. And we would go on walks. We'll go get some fresh air. I mean, it's not nice having a mask on all the time, but when you go out there and let the sun basically give you a bit of vitamin D, give you a bit of that warmth, and that's basically one of the things that I feel has really kept me sane, besides from smelling essential oils. Throughout this whole lockdown, it just really helped to go, hey, there's a lot going on in the world, but being out and being present is one thing that you can do for yourself, and putting that phone down.
I love that. Going out, being present, and putting the phone down, because I was only thinking the other day, like when I started out spa blogging, it was before Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and anyway, all of these social media apps. And I've been reading more and more about it, and even in this book also, to plug again, but I've just been reading again more and more about how using social media all the time isn't good for our mental health. It can bring up, anxiety, depression, self-doubt, self-comparison. It just really, everything in moderation, I say. So even now for me, I'm just completely slowing down on social media. And I think that's been one of the most incredible things to come from COVID-19 is the ability to go, you know what? It is so important to be with family, like you said, to be present. to tune into your breath, to practice really basic, simple self-care in the shower, and just come back to your natural, true self.
Yep.
Like, because everything is stripped away, you know, the holidays, all of that pizzazz is just like, you know, when you're in lockdown, it's totally stripped away. So it really does bring you back to the core, doesn't it, of who you are and what your values are. Without,
and I think one of the great things, even though we don't really talk much about it with COVID, is that the fact that we are slowing down. With Melbourne, it feels like, though, being a mother, it's always like being on the go consistently. So with this, it's learning to appreciate the moment that you're in and slowing down and just really reassessing everything in your life, going, what is serving me and what makes me feel good? What can I do to serve others in the same way as well? It's one of those things where I know everyone's like wanting to get back, seeing friends and seeing family, and it's beautiful. I think it's really great, but it also shows that sometimes we just need to really unwind, really take the moment to step back and reassess what is it that we want from life, the things that we're currently doing that we do on autopilot as well. Is that serving us in any way? And how does it make us feel at the end of the day?
I love those words of wisdom. How does it make us feel at the end of the day? Because what I learned is when you count, say, as an example, using social media. Now, people might say, I don't have time to do a scrub. But then I always say, or they go, I don't have time to meditate. And I'm like, okay, well, how long do you spend on social media? Oh, probably about 2 hours a day looking at, you know, Instagram feed.
That is so scary that we actually spend 2 or more hours without knowing it on the phone, whether it's just reading an article or on Insta, and then you're like, that's 2 or 3 hours that you're never going to get back. And did you do anything that made you feel good about yourself, or were you go, oh, they did that better than I did? And sometimes you need to go stop. You need to stop yourself and go, you know what? I'm so happy that they're doing well. And go, but that's their thing and it's really good. But what am I doing to make myself feel good in this space right now? And you just forget that. And when people tell me I don't have time to use a body scrub, it's like, so you're telling me you don't have time for yourself?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Which is one of those things, like, you're telling me you don't have 30 seconds to yourself where you could feel reconnected back to nature, back to the universe, back to who you truly are.
Yeah, I think you just said it so well. Like, it isn't, when you compare, say, when people say I'm too busy, and then if you like sit down, so I read every day for 25 minutes, and this happened during COVID-19 when I was in lockdown, because I realized, well, if I just swapped, you know, 25 minutes looking at my news feed, whether that be Facebook or Instagram, I could literally do something more productive, you know, for my brain, learn, and disconnect. So it's just incredible. I believe we all have time to do your Body Balm Co scrub to feel good, Lucky. But I love all of your empowering messages on your Instagram page, like loving all your curves, which is a perfect reminder for all of us, because we can be so judgmental, thinking like, you know, as a family, if you're a mum, Lucky, that you've got to set up your children and your house, and it's got to be like an Instagram photo that looks like you have, you know, you're part of the royal family, which, as we know, isn't the case. I mean, you're a busy mum, and you tell me you love to go fresh-faced.
Always. Right now.
Yeah. You inspired me. I didn't do like the whole bling bling makeup, you know.
Nothing wrong with that. If you're into that, that's cool. For me, being a busy mom, it's just doing the most important stuff. And I'm into skincare. I'm a beauty therapist at heart. I am a beauty therapist. And when you're studying beauty therapy and you're constantly wearing makeup, or when you're in the beauty industry and you're constantly wearing makeup, because that's the standard of what society tells us that beauty should look like. And when I had my child, everything changed. The way you look at beauty, the way that you see things completely change. And you kind of step out of your own little inner shell of being afraid to look fresh-faced to the world and go, you know what, hey, this is me. And if you can't deal with it, I'm sorry. But I love the way that I look. I love the way that I feel. I love to know that my skin is able to breathe. It's able to shine. It's not being covered up. I'm not wearing a mask. This is who I am. And I feel like I'm not there for everyone to like, and it's okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that.
I love your words of wisdom, Lucky. You are a breath of fresh air, because like I have been, now they call me an influencer, which is just a label. But here's the thing. People will always approach me like, oh, would you like free fillers, free Botox, free cosmetics work, because then you can promote my clinic. And I'm like, no, like I'm just lucky, using your name there, Lucky. I'm just lucky that I was raised by my mum, who's a natural beauty, and in an era in the 70s growing up in Australia where it was natural beauty was totally in. Yes, you admired those who had natural features, whether that was a mole on their face like a beauty spot, or whether they were just blessed with, incredible genes. But by no means were we ever inspired to try and create a face or a body like a celebrity. That wasn't even thought about. So now I see that, the trends have obviously changed, and people tell me that they can take a photo in, and people in clinics say they can take a photo in and say, oh, I want lips like this influencer or this celebrity, and they're just sort of creating a look. But I really love your brand, and that's the reason I wanted to bring you on the show, because you are so relatable when it comes to everyday women who are mums or people or natural beauties, because you're all about connecting with your own heart, soul, self, feeling whole and feeling enough, like I am enough, I'm nurturing. And that's why I was like, oh, I have to share your brand, because I just loved the whole philosophy around it. And you can speak of truth of this, because you actually live what you do. You're not going out, you're not stressing out and saying, Yvette, I can't get my Botox or my fillers. My whole world is falling apart. I cannot cope.
It's okay if you want Botox. There's no judgment there at all. You do what you feel good, that feels basically good for you. And and don't let anyone judge you for how you look, how you feel, because you're amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Everyone needs to know that they're bloody amazing, and someone out there will look up to you and go, wow, I wish I was like you.
Yes, so true, Lucky. Someone will look at you and go, I wish I was like you. But it's so good. We need to own our own beauty as we are. And if we're looking in the mirror and we don't feel like we are enough, that's when we need to say, I am enough.
That's correct.
And get that enoughness back. Now, Lucky, tell me, so with this journey, you have had to obviously create the scrub. So there's going to be people out there who are listening, who are super inspired to start a brand, maybe a podcast show, write a book, get something happening in their life and go, oh my goodness, Lucky had this idea. Her friend says, do it. You do it. So what have you found to be maybe some things you've learnt along the way of creating your brand whilst in lockdown in Melbourne, Victoria?
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. I wasn't locked out. I had time.
Okay, so number one, if you get in lockdown, the good news is if you ever do go into lockdown, silver lining is you'll have time to really work on your brand.
Exactly.
How did you come up with the name?
It just, honestly, it just came to me. It was something where I was like, I wanted a range that was basically about your body, hence body. And balm was something that just naturally followed.
I love it. I love it.
Naturally followed, and then I had to obviously Google to make sure that no one else had it, and go, oh, look who else is using this name, and do my research on that as well. But it honestly, it just came to me, and that's where all of my products and all of my oils and my blends, all of that just intuitively comes to me.
I love this. So you're obviously really big on connecting to your intuition and like really feeling into how your energy feels.
Trust in the universe, because it is there to help you. That's
wow. Who inspired you to really trust in the universe? Was this something you heard on the Oprah Winfrey show, in Deepak Chopra talk? Was it your mum? Like, where did this belief in trusting in the universe come from? Because I believe in trusting in the universe, and I very much work with my gut feeling, like energy, and I kind of sit, feel. I also let things arise naturally, like organically, like creatively. Like I might just be sitting there and an idea will come to me. You know, like I don't force it, like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I need to post this on Instagram because that's what the gurus say, like the social media gurus. I like, it's a really natural, creative process. But where did your belief in the universe come?
I always had that in me. So the belief of self, the belief that you're better than this. Obviously, I went through a lot of, I believe everyone goes through some kind of trauma or some kind of dark experiences which bring them out. And through one of those dark experiences, that's where I found the universe is there for me. It's there to guide me. It's there to bring me a new pathway, a new light. All I need to do is trust it. And it all comes, honestly, from the heart. That's where it all comes from. And that's where the whole branding, the whole philosophy, what I believe in, my values, that's what I've instilled in Body Balm Co.
I love, love, love that, because, yeah, connecting to the heart chakra, heart space, the heart is love over fear. And you've definitely chosen love over fear in COVID-19. Now, tell me, when you are creating your products, you've obviously got your little one. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and brand owners, and they talk about, you know, the startup phase, and you're sort of just starting out, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know, your to-do list gets bigger and so many other things. How do you find a balance? Do you kind of go, okay, it's 5:30, I'm switching off from Body Balm Co. and switching over to mum role, or do you kind of, like, I've heard some brand owners, they'll work through the night till midnight and then in a few months they burn out?
So with me, the whole, I find, I don't know, it's really strange. My whole creative side seems to just switch on roughly about almost like 2:30 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Don't know why. It just happens. And it's probably the perfect time for it to switch on, because then I sneak out of my bed and then I'll get into my desk and I'll be like, right, I need to start actioning these. Or there'll be times where it's like, okay, I understand I'm feeling tired, but I need to get these ideas down. So I'll just quickly pop it onto my phone, onto my Google Keep, and I have a list of things that I do. I'll pop it all on there, and then it's like, right, okay, it's out of my brain, leave it there. That's for when I actually go and do my whole Body and Balm work, and I just get back to bed. So I honor when I feel tired and I know I need rest. And then there are times where it's like, nope, this needs to happen right now. And that's when I sneak out of my bed without my little one trying to know. And she's so good at going, Mom, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm here, darling. You've got your daddy. You're okay. But it's one of those things where I just go with the flow. And sometimes when you're so passionate about doing what you do, it kind of overflows and you need to go, I'm going to stop right there. It's 6 o'clock. It's time to make dinner now. And it's like, I need to run down, make some dinner, make sure everyone's fed, and do my duties as a wife, as a mother. And yeah, that's how it works for me. There's no like structure as such. It's more of going with the flow, acknowledging when you're actually tired and go, I know I've got things that I want to do, but right now I need to rest.
I love that. I know I've got things to do, but right now I need to rest. So you are very self-disciplined by doing that, which will in turn help you from burnout, which a lot of women who are mums or even not mums, and even guys who do startup brands suffer, with the burnout, trying to do it all without that cut-off discipline. And many have learned to switch.
That's one thing that I tell my husband as well, which I've noticed. He's got this mentality of he needs to get things done and it needs to be done in a certain way or else no one's going to do it and the whole world is going to end. And you're just going to tell him, hey, babe, it's okay. It's all right. You don't have to mow the lawn. I mean, it's overgrown, but it's okay. You can do it next weekend. Just relax, chill it. It's okay.
You're like the perfect wife. He's got such a lucky cat. I love that. She's not perfect, but understanding. I'm the same. I say that to my sister when she's stressed out about, having to do the housework, because she works full time in a family business and she has 2 teenage daughters now in high school. And like the weekends are just all about getting that housework done, getting every chore done. And I always remind her, you need time out for yourself and just to chill and forget about the housework. But I know it's ingrained when you're a mum, you're just on a treadmill of life. So Lucky, you, through COVID-19, obviously a lot of women and even guys, we should say, are seeking self-care products to feel good. There's been a lot of talk about mental health being on the rise, especially young teenage girls struggling. You have just talked a little bit earlier on this, but you're sort of like not tuning into the news because can we say we were getting a little bit over watching the news. Many people weren't that keen on knowing the statistics. Like it was even getting too much for people who lived in Queensland, hearing the Premier get up there every day and not have a day off and talk about the numbers. So have you also found just switching off from the news has helped to just kind of disconnect from the fear or the stress of what was going on in Melbourne, which still is going on, but
it is still going on, and I think we're just all waiting on our Premier to actually tell us when we can all kind of get moving on back to some kind of new normal. And I think we all expected that. And for me, not watching the news, like the first thing that I would do is I used to actually go downstairs, turn on the news just to listen to the numbers. And that's the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop doing this because it's not doing any good for my mental health. It's not making it go away. I might tune in when I need to tune in or ask someone else to go, hey, can you let me know? And then go, yep, cool. And then just kind of like almost put it aside in the sense because you still need to live your own life. You still need to move on with things. And it's, I guess, in a way, I feel a little bit, I'm just so grateful that my parents and like everyone I know hasn't been infected with COVID yet. And I'm just really glad that I'm still breathing and I'm still alive and the world is still going to move on. I think that's one thing that we all need to realize. It might be a new normal for us and it's hard for us to swallow, but we can get through this. As everyone tells.
So I agree. I too stopped watching the news because even when I watched the news about Melbourne numbers, it was just too much. And I really felt that I would prefer to have listened to real people's stories, like the nurse who's working or the doctor who's working in the ICU, or I would have preferred to have heard like the true like true stories. So I kind of like switched off because I too was like, oh, I don't need to know the numbers. I know it's there. I know it's happening. The best thing we can do, Lucky, is obviously use the Body and Balm Co, but really just nurture ourselves in the shower, taking time out. Also, like you said, go for that walk, turn the news off, focus your attention inwards. And you have just started a new brand, a new business, all in lockdown, which is incredible. So it's going to be really exciting for you, and your family must be over the moon to see what you have created in amongst the darkness and the stress and the uncertainty and the challenging times. They must just think you're an absolute little superstar doing all of this. Are like a whiz.
They're super proud of me, and you know what? I'm super proud of them because without them, this wouldn't have happened. So my family, my tribe, they're all in here supporting me. So they're contributing as well. I'm like, they might not think that they are, but they really are contributing in terms of what I'm making, what I'm doing, because it involves them as well. And it's one of those things where I feel so grateful for doing something that I love, that's something that I could share with other people as well, and making them realize, hey, you have time for you.
Yeah. I love that when you say you have time for you. They're powerful words because we do. And, you know, like you talk about, you surrounded yourself with a beautiful friend who was positive. And what I took from that was like, I believe it's so important to surround yourself with positive people. Because here's a scenario. Had you had a friend who either didn't believe you could make it happen or didn't, you know, was negative, maybe they were feeling down, they had their own shit going on, you know, they're not feeling good within, it could have been easy for you to go to someone and say, hey, I've got this idea, and they're like, oh no, just forget it, don't waste your time. You know, and so I always say it's so important, don't you think, to surround yourself with people who lift you up, believe in you, are go-getters, positive, optimistic.
And I think the other thing is, when you do have a friend or you know someone who may say to you, you can't do that, what you really need to think is, you know, it's more of a reflection on them rather than it is on you, and you don't need to prove them anything. You are you. You don't need to prove that you can't do it or you can do it. It's more of just stepping back and go, hey, this is really interesting because they've said that and they said that about me. But at the end of the day, it's really not about me. It's all about them.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Lucky, because here's an example. When I first started the first IGTV travel show, so Instagram brought out IGTV, like a TV platform on Instagram. And I was like, wow, I'm going all in. I'm doing like travel shows because I always wanted to be a getaway travel show presenter. And then, so I started the first hashtag in the world, for the record. Yes, we'll put that on for the record. Out of the millions and billions of Instagram accounts, SPAITGIRL_travel created the first IGTV travel show. But I'll tell you what happened from there. People thought, what the hell is this girl doing? Standing in front of, say, a spa resort saying, oh, hi, everyone, it's Yvette Blowitz from SPAITGIRL.com. We're here today at Como, Ubud or Shanggu. And people were like, what is she doing? A travel show in video. This was 2 years ago. This is a photo platform. Now, as you know, fast forward to today, Instagram has brought out Reels. Many people who laughed at me and thought I was crazy because I was doing video are now doing video. It's hilarious. So I had vision, though, that people were getting totally sick of looking at the perfect Instagrammable photo. It wasn't relatable. So, and the other thing was, I thought, Lucky, if you wanted to go to the Maldives and you were going to spend $1,200 a night, you would want to see in that resort to see what value for money you're going to get. What does the villa look like? So I just switched it to be all about we and not me. And it's incredible how things change. So I really get where you're coming from. You need to have people that surround you, that build you up. But you also need now people, if you go out and do the brand, and you have, like as me, if I write a book or I do a travel show, I might get, you know, someone troll you to say, oh, I don't like your Aussie accent. Well, you got to be able to stand up for, you know, who you are as you are, like you talk about, Lucky, and know that you're enough and not take that criticism on board. Otherwise, it'll, you know, take you from what you're doing to not doing it. Because I know a lot of people struggle with, say, they get a lot of great positive feedback, but then they really struggle with some bad reviews. It's nice to be able to cope with good reviews, bad reviews. Like you said earlier, Lucky, not everybody's going to like us for who we are. Some people are, some people aren't. But, you know, like, so what are, you know, you're doing this brand. What are some other lessons learned you have found? Like, have you found the process to be really straightforward, easy? Or have you really found that you've got to put a lot of work into it, like setting up the business from the brand, the site, you know, your ABNs, products, ingredients? Like, we make it sound like you just clicked your fingers, Lucky, and did this overnight, but there would have been a bit of a process to it.
Absolutely. With anything, there's going to be a process, and there's always going to be a checklist. I'm a big checklist girl. So making sure that I put everything down in terms of what I need to do my research on, how to get the business started, and going from the basics and then going from there and going, you know what, sometimes other things, some things just come so easy, and then other things just take a little bit more time, and you just got to bear with it. Just got to have patience, and it's okay.
Patience.
Patience, absolutely. And sometimes when things don't go your way, it's kind of like the universe going, maybe take another direction. See, how does that work? But always stay true to who you are, because that is what's going to really get you through everything. Understand the reason why you want to do this in the first place, because that motivation is going to push you straight through. And when you're in line with what you're doing, everything just kind of like glides and gets into a way where you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm here already. I can't believe that I've actually got a business called Body Balm Co. I can't believe I'm doing body scrubs, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are doing it. And I feel that the amount of people I talk, that shower time and bath time is their time. So using that beautiful scent and scrub and nurturing is the self-care time. Like a lot of mums I know can't go and do the whole full day, you know, at the day spa, or go on that week away to the health retreat. Their time is so limited. So I just love, you were obviously thinking not only about yourself though, Lucky, when you wanted to create this brand, you wanted to serve. I heard you mention these words before. How can I serve others? How can I help others? Which is how the SPAITGIRL podcast show started this year, was when I was in lockdown and couldn't travel and do the travel shows. And then I was like, right, well, how can I help others? How can I serve others? So this is why we're here today, just to share your words of wisdom. So Lucky, I could talk to you all day, as you know, but it is Self-Love Sunday here.
It is.
And so tell me what you're juggling. What does your little child think about this? Do they know this is all going on? You making the product? Are they aware of this yet? Are they?
All she knows is, this is mum. Mum's going to feed me. Mum's going to put me to sleep. Mum is here to comfort me. And it's beautiful. It really is. Because that's just me, being a mother. And the great thing about raising a little girl is, for me anyway, with self-esteem, mental health, I want to ensure that my little one is strong. I don't want her to go out in the world going, oh, I'm beautiful because I look beautiful. No, I want her to know that she's got a beautiful heart. She's got a beautiful soul. And that is what's going to carry her through.
I love those messages. She has a beautiful heart, a beautiful soul, which I truly believe in. I've listened to young girls in primary school who were in grade 3 and already knew that one of the girls had a 6-pack, one of the girls had a 2-pack, and that they would need a 6-pack if they were going to sort of be popular or be of interest or be, and that's why I kind of feel that we are so, another reason why we should spend a lot more less time on, not to say Instagram, but just be really conscious when you've got your children around. If you're saying you're fat, you know, or like, oh my God, she's so popular because she's got a 6-pack. Like, these children are like little sponges, and they sort of pick up on it. And they also, another thing that comes up with the young children when it comes to mental health and body image is they're able to picture how many, say, millions of followers this influencer has, and then and it's because of the body or because of what they do. So they're sort of, one of the things I would have done is never shown to the world how many followers any brand has or business has or influencer. And sort of back in the day when blogging was, it didn't center around popularity. It didn't center around numbers. And I still feel that apps like Instagram and other apps have got a long way to go when it comes to contributing to better mental health also, because it would take the pressure off a 16-year-old girl if no one could see. I don't even think they're allowed to be on Instagram at 16. However, I'm sure a lot of kids are, but okay, let's say 18 or 21. But anyway, a woman, it would take a lot of pressure off a woman or a business owner if those numbers were not there, and also influencers and bloggers. So I hope one day we get to see that, Lucky. Now, Lucky, before we say goodbye, if you had any words of wisdom for someone out there who is just really struggling, they're in lockdown, they're in Melbourne, and they just are like, oh, can't take this anymore. Like, they're really struggling. They just feel a little bit hopeless. What could be one self-care ritual, just one or two, that you feel has helped you immensely during this time?
Okay, this is going to be, I feel, I'm actually going to direct this to, I've recently had one of my sister's friend who was experiencing a dark time of her own, and she came to live with us for a bit. And all I really wanted to just tell her is that you deserve to be here. I made a particular scrub with certain essential oils in there to help her get through it, and without needing to say anything, just really giving a gift to someone, whether or not they use it, the intention of giving that gift to someone to go, hey, we love you so much. We are here. If you need to talk, we're here. So instead of, let's say, doing a self-ritual for yourself, maybe actually reach out to someone and go, hey, we're here for you. If you need us, we're here. So reach out to someone. Reach out to someone because you just don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, I love that. Reach out to someone because you don't know what they're going through. I love, love, love that. And as you know, we have the Are You Okay Day. And I always feel so passionate about doing that. And even in lockdown, I felt like when we were first all in lockdown, we were like the whole world was it, we're all in this together, you know, and it was everybody was in the same boat. But what I've found with Melbourne is you are just in it. And the whole world is not. The whole world's, some of them are traveling, some of them are back at work. You know, it's people are just like, oh, well, we're back, we're fine, we're doing okay. But I've been really conscious to check in with people in Melbourne, like my friends, my colleagues, you know, even skincare brands like yourself and other spa owners, just to see how are you okay? Because I just feel that if we are outside of Melbourne, then we too can bring that positivity and it's going to get better, and we're in a lot better state of mind also to help. But I love your words of wisdom. So not just think about ourselves, but ask that question. Now, Lucky, how can we stay in touch with you after this podcast show and find out more about your brand and even jump onto your site to check it out? And obviously, if we want to buy some.
Buy anything at all.
No, I know. But we love self-care products on SPAITGIRL Show.
Honestly, visit my website, so bodyandbalmco.com. I feel like though, once you go through the whole journey that site brings you through, and that's how I've created the site to be, it takes you through a particular journey where you explore, you read, you reflect. You don't have to follow me on Instagram at Body and Balm Co as well. And yeah, you can even direct message me on Instagram. You can always find me on Instagram, although I'll have certain cutoff times where I'm actually sleeping. So
I love your Instagram page because it's so beautiful. It's a lot of messages and quotes, and it's all about, you know, nurturing yourself, looking inwards. And you also have, which I really like, when you explain like Essence Explained. And I love how you then sort of go into a bit more detail, and it's all about really just the whole exfoliating experience, the nurturing experience. You go into the Australian desert rosewood, because that's what we didn't talk about. Before we go, you actually have chosen a name here, which I love, which is called Grit.
Yes.
Yeah, so grit. Like, I really love that. It was like grit. That really captured me, that self-care name, Grit. And because we didn't, I love how you also got this package contains good vibes only. And beauty in flaws. I love that. I love that. So that whole concept just came as in like, busy mum, you are beautiful, and as you are, all of us. Like, absolutely. I just loved it. I loved that. Yeah, so you've come up with some really quirky names here. Some really cool, quirky names. Like, it's quite like fun and happy and positive, which everyone needs.
I think one thing that people need to realize about Body and Balm Co, which they may not know yet, is that we're going against the grain. We're going above mainstream. We're not using, I know that everyone loves rose essential oil. I know that everyone loves lavender essential oil. We're actually not using it. and I choose not to. I choose not to. And there are reasons to why I choose to do something a little bit different. I'm a beauty therapist, and I've also got a science background, and I love to read ingredients.
Mm.
And hence that's why all of these, when I formulate all these products, I make sure that all these ingredients that I use are not only natural, but they're probably a little bit uncommon in terms of being used in other products as well. So I do my due diligence and I test out quite a lot of products. And me, I love anything natural. I'll give it a go. But the first thing I do whenever I pick up any product is read the ingredients. So when you pick up one of my products and read the ingredients, you're like, holy crap, is this all you've got in there? I'm like, yeah, because that's all you need. I believe less.
Yeah, because I see that you've got vitamin E, cold pressed macadamia oil, cold pressed hazelnut oil, cold pressed avocado oil, extracted rosehip seed oil.
The good stuff.
Yes, these are like all to coat your body, soften your skin, and heal your mind. So you've gone in there. I can't believe I didn't know. Like, you are just, the packaging is beautiful. If everyone could see this on YouTube, I'm trying to work this out here. I'm like, where is this? But the packaging is so beautiful. It really is. And life is seriously good. That's why I think I really loved your page, because like just the messaging around everything is so incredible and earth friendly, which I love your packaging. So you are big on Mother Earth and saving the earth.
I really am, to be honest with you. And when we first came up with grit and the packaging, we're like, oh my goodness, I really don't want to use plastic pouches, but there's no other way, not with this particular one. And then later on, we're like, how can we make this a bit more earth friendly? So I was like, all right, let's do glass packaging, but let's choose a really good quality one. So with all of our original size pouches, one here. So this is actually,
I love it.
Matte plastic. It's recyclable, but I wasn't happy with the fact that it's plastic, and hence that's why I went on to move on to Myron glass alternative. But don't get me wrong, I still love this. I just wasn't happy with the packaging. And the reason why we chose to actually use that particular packaging was because if we tried to use a biodegradable like paper bag to put our grit in, the oils and so forth would just completely leak out. Being in the shower, it will leak out. So we're slowly making baby steps, even with our labels as well. So our current labels are vinyl, and we're going to move to paper very shortly with the new range as well. And it's one of those things where it's like, baby steps. We'll get there, but slowly. And just, I'm not making it myself, not taking it too hard on myself either. And I know there's a lot of people out there who go, I don't want to use that because it's in plastic. I'm like, you know what? We've got a refillable glass jar that you can reuse.
Yeah, I saw that you did bring out the glass jar, because I noticed that shift and I thought, well, but that's good. I love how you're just getting into the process, because it's a process. So you did this, now you've discovered this, and like beauty in flaws, like like I read the other day in a book, it's not a sprint. Life is a marathon. Like it's a journey. You don't have to get there tomorrow. You don't need to have it all figured out today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I really, really love your products. I love everything you've created. It is incredible that you have created Body Balm Co during COVID-19 Melbourne lockdown. Credit to you. Yes, let's say that. Being a mum, mama entrepreneur here, mama brand owner, because you're going to inspire a lot of women out there. Because like a year ago, 2 years ago, you didn't have building this brand on your to-do list. on your, like this actually just organically happened out in the shower. I love this story, and in a need to nurture yourself as a mum, and then in a need to want to help nurture other people. Yeah, it's a beautiful story. It's such a beautiful story, and I can't wait to see it unfold. And thank you so much, Lucky, for spending so much time with me today. I feel like we spent probably the whole day together because of our podcast technical issues, but it's been so much fun. Absolutely credit to you for creating this brand and thinking of not just yourself, but others. And thank you for also sharing at the end if there was someone out there struggling. And even if you don't know if someone's struggling, just ask them, how are you? Check in with them and maybe get them a Body Balm Co product. I'm going to give you a plug because it's so beautiful, but just giving someone a gift. And even if you don't give the gift, if you just send a DM or you ring or you pop in, if you're able to actually leave your house and go further than 5Ks, but yeah, 1K is it? But I love those words of wisdom, and I just love how you are still going out, walking with your husband and your child, like you're all getting out, fresh air, being present. You're doing your self-care in the bathroom. You've got your boundaries set. So it's like 6 o'clock, okay, switch off. I was going to say, because you get up so early in the morning, 3 a.m., that's really common. That's really common. I've been listening to gurus, Sadhu Guru from India, but many creative people. I even wrote my book, It Starts With Me, at about 3 a.m. in the morning. I started and I was in flow. And I wrote. It just came through me. And there's this mystical thing that happens so early in the morning. So you were so onto it. But thank you again, Lucky, for joining us. We will say goodbye to Lucky from Body Balm Co. On that note, I'm super grateful that you have tuned into the Spirit Girl podcast show. I would love for you to subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and review, and to tell someone you love to. Stay connected with SPAITGIRL on any app, and make sure that you take time for your own self to feel good from within. But also, with it being Mental Health Day just recently, but I like to say Mental Health Day every day, I really want to take Lucky's words of wisdom and inspire you to check in with someone that you haven't checked in with for a while and just ask, how are you? Let's keep that conversation happening. I love you all to bits. We will say goodbye. See you on the next Spirit Girl Talk Show podcast. Bye.